no other sports are the fans, or at Augusta the patrons, constantly in such close proximity to the athletes. Add the requisite silence and decorum expected on a golf course, cross-pollinate with the tabloid details of the crisis in the lives of Tiger and Elan Woods, and it is an open question what sort of atmosphere awaits the man acknowledged as the best in the game. Here's TJ Quinn.
In the old days, all it took was the click of a camera.
Seriously, come on, guys, please.
Or an unwelcome sound. And the golf world was reminded, Tiger does not like distractions.
Come on!
But those outbursts usually came after a well-meaning fan crossed the bounds of golf etiquette.
Got in my swing!
When Woods returns from his hiatus, he may find himself facing something he never faced before, hostile crowds.
It's never happened for Tiger, you know, he's always on his home turf, if you like, so it's going to be different, but hopefully he uses this as an opportunity to show us how impressive he really is, and hopefully he comes out the other side.
If you're at the top of a sport that wants to be a major, part of sports entertainment, then I think you got to put on your big boy pants and come out here and take some criticism.
Few sports allow spectators the sort of access to competitors that golf grants its fans. And outside of the boisterous crowds in New York, or places like the rowdy 16th hole at the Phoenix Open, golf galleries are famously compliant. But tour golfers, fans, and officials say they expect Woods to face some heckling when he steps back onto a course.
We're going to have our eyes and ears open to, protect not only him, but protect the integrity of our sport.
Steve Rintoul is a rules official for the PGA Tour and travels to up to 30 tournaments a year.
I think certainly things will be beefed up. We'll probably have a lot more plainclothes people in the gallery, people with their eyes and ears open, and trying to identify troublemakers before it happens.
Security experts say it's more likely Tiger will face taunts than actual threats to his safety. But from the clubhouse to the galleries, everyone expects things to be different.
I can see that there might be some heckling in the beginning. I kind of think the golf crowd will probably police themselves, and I think other people will stand up and tell them to knock that off.
You're going to get people who get into golf tournaments simply for the single purpose of antagonizing and getting under Tiger's skin and going after him. I think security and the people who run the tournaments and everything are going to have to be on guard for that and protect against that.
Rintoul says fans can count on it. Officials will be on guard for any heckling, not just profanity.
You can heckle somebody without using profanity. You can heckle someone based on, what they've done or, how their lifestyle is or what they've done in the past. But we're not going to, tolerate that in any shape or form out here on the PGA Tour.
And while Woods has never been particularly close with his competitors on the tour, Rocco Mediate says Tiger's still one of them, and he won't be left alone.
He can't see everything. Seems like he can, but he can't see everything. So we'll have people around him, and the tour will handle it. We got him.
TJ Quinn reporting this today from the legend Arnold Palmer. Augusta is one place in the world that you really have control, and they will control everything from the crowds to the situation that will be facing Tiger. I think that if there is a place in the world that you can do that and do it properly, Augusta will be that. Edward Wanambwa is a senior editor of the African American Golfers Digest. Edward, always good to speak with you. What changes there for a golfer, and how different do you think this will be for Tiger?
Well, great to be here, first of all, Bob. Tiger's always had the innate ability to tune out the galleries. I walked with him at Torrey Pines at the U.S. Open almost every hole, and it's amazing to me how he's able to stay so focused with all the madness that goes on around him. I think that the timing of him coming back at Augusta National puts him in the best position to be able to try to focus back on golf. As Curtis said earlier, it's going to affect his game. It has to affect his game in a tangible way, especially at Augusta National. That's not a easy golf course. But as far as the heckling goes, and people screaming at him from the patrons, not the gallery at Augusta, they're a different type of fan that comes to the Masters. And Tiger's Team Tiger's picked a good tournament for him to come back.
Well, that's of course the soft landing of the Masters. He's got to move on from there, where you don't have to go to a secondary ticket service to scalp your way into the Masters, for example, and where you can just put your credit card down and get in there, and you're going to have larger crowds and crowds with different alcohol policies and whatnot.
Yes, I mean, Tiger's not going to be able, as Stuart Ting said, you got to put on your big boy pants and come out here and take some criticism. I mean, he's not going to be able to control this at, the U.S. Open or even the Open Championship, or even if he goes up and plays in Charlotte at Quail Hollow. I mean, eventually, Tiger's going to have to answer those questions, and, the playing ground is different now. The rules are different when it comes to Tiger. I'm curious to find out, are the tabloid outlets going to be given access and media credentials to come in the media center, and then he's fair game. I mean, he's not going to be able to always be in a situation that's so controlled like it is at Augusta National.
What's the most compelling aspect of his return for you as a journalist?
I'm curious like everybody else, but as a journalist, I'd like to see how he rebounds mentally. I'd like to see, how Tiger is gonna find that sanctuary back on the golf course. I'm curious to find out, what Tiger are we gonna see? Has he forever been changed because of his off the course, antics? I really want to know, is he going to play in the par 3 contest, maybe as a way to try to endear himself again with his pros. And I'm also curious to see how he's going to be received by the other golfers. Is he going to linger around a little bit after the tournament and chew the fat and talk to some of the other golfers that like he's never done before? So those are the questions I'm going to be looking for at Augusta this year.
We'll all be watching. Edward Wanambwa, thanks a great deal as always, Edward. Appreciate it. We've got the golfing quotient of the comeback in 23 days and the commercial and the cultural. Let's turn to Professor Robert Thompson, who studies television and popular culture at Syracuse University, and Darren Ravel, who is reporting as always on sports business at CNBC. Gentlemen, good to have you here. Professor Bob, how big an event, how big a deal is this?
Well, it's a huge deal, although it's two different deals. If you watch the reports of, serious sports analysts and people that worship in the Church of Golf, this is really being presented